Welcome back to my channel. Today I am overdue. I'm 40 weeks plus 3 days pregnant, three days past my due date, and I just wanted to chat with you about what I've been doing to prepare for baby. So that if you follow this channel, you'll know that this is my second time around. I already have a daughter who's almost 3, she'll be 3 in July, and some of these things I did for the last time around. Some of these things are a bit new, but there's a few things that I like to do to get prepared for a new baby. Number one is obviously getting the essentials in, and I had a lot less to buy this time around because I did keep a lot from the first time around, and we are expecting another baby girl, which is very, very useful. In terms of the essentials that you need to get in, I am going to do a video on newborn essentials, but there's basically 4 categories that I see as essential things that you need to have ready for your baby to come home. Babies really do not need an awful lot of stuff, particularly newborns. The main things that they need are food, so whether you're breastfeeding or bottle feeding, they're going to need milk, they're going to need a safe place to sleep, safe and warm place to sleep, whether that be a Moses basket or a crib or a cot or whatever you want to do. They need clothes to wear, clothes and nappies, so whether you're using reusable nappies or we use the throwaway nappies. We quite like the Tesco ones. I've tried Pampers, I've tried Aldi, I've tried Huggies, I've tried a variety of brands. I think most of them have been pretty good. I haven't found any that have been really, really bad, but we generally use Tesco or Aldi or Pampers. And then in terms of clothes, you need things like, onesies, sleep suits. That's basically what a newborn is going to live in for the first few weeks. And then obviously the other main category for me is travel. You cannot take your baby home from the hospital in the UK in a car unless you have a car seat. So obviously a car seat, an infant car seat, is really important. It needs to be backward facing. You can get the Isofix base if you want, but you don't need to. You can use a seatbelt to secure the car seat, which is what we do, because our last car actually didn't have or the Isofix didn't fit properly in our last car because it wasn't flush against the back of the seat, so it's actually safer to use the seatbelt. So that's what we do. And then obviously you probably need some kind of other means of transportation out with of the car, so like a pram or something like that where the baby can lie flat. Those are the 4 main things that you need to make sure you buy in. Anything more than that is kind of your nesting. It's kind of preparing for yourself rather than for the baby. Babies are not going to need the toys for several months. I mean, they can only see like a few centimeters in front of their face, which is why if you're holding your baby, they can see your face but not very much else. They can also only see really in black and white for the first few weeks too. So in terms of what you really, really need, those are the basic essentials. But I do like to prepare the baby's room. At the moment we're going to have our baby in our room sleeping with us for the first 6 months. That's what they recommend in the UK. And then the baby will move into her own bedroom. We will have a temporary nursery which is right beside our room for the first kind of maybe year and a half. And then she'll move into a bigger room. So she'll be in the smallest bedroom in the house at first because it just happens to be right next door to our room. And then we will move her into the bigger room. So I haven't done a huge amount of decorating in the room, but I will do a room tour if you'd be interested to see that and show you what I've done there. But yeah, getting yourself ready, getting your room ready is kind of like a nesting thing for yourself. It gets your head in the zone. It kind of helps you feel like you're prepared. And I think that's just as important as actually being prepared. The next thing that I've done, which is really important, is packing my hospital bag. And I have done 2 hospital bag videos. One for what I packed for myself and one for what I packed for a baby, and I'll link those below if you missed those. Obviously you should be doing that probably around the 36-week mark. I did the babies around 36 weeks, my own probably around 38 weeks, but it's not been an issue because I'm overdue. But getting yourself ready for your hospital bag and what you're going to need in the hospital, again, gets your head in the zone and make sure you're prepared for any occasion, because you just don't know when this baby's going to come. This baby is the only person who knows and controls when they're going to come. You have no control over it unless you're obviously artificially induced. But yeah, baby knows when he or she is coming, so make sure you are ready. The next thing that I always do in the last couple of weeks before my due date is start to groom a little bit. That means shaving my legs, it means keeping all of the hair in check a little bit. They do tell you not to shave off all of your pubic hair right before your due date, because actually the reason that you have hair down there is to catch infection, to stop infection from going into the baby. So I usually do it a couple of weeks before my due date and then let a little bit of regrowth in there. At least it's nice and tidy and I feel clean and tidy. It just makes you feel a little bit better about yourself at a time when it's very, very hard to feel good about yourself and your body. The other grooming thing I do is my nails. So I've taken off my nail polish and cut my nails really, really far down. The reason that I do this is because if for any reason you had to get an emergency C-section or a planned C-section for that matter, you cannot wear nail polish. They need you to remove all of that. So I just don't wear it if I know that I could be going into labour soon. And I cut my nails right down because the last thing you want to be doing is scratching your newborn baby and their tiny sensitive skin when you're trying to change their nappy. And my toddler is constantly screaming at me when I scratch her if I'm trying to get her vest on or get her ready in the bath. I do have generally quite long nails, so they're all cut down and tidy and ready for the new baby's skin. The next thing I've been doing is doing some batch cooking. So that means cooking in bulk and freezing my meals into little portions. Things like lasagna, for example, cottage pie, these kind of things are really, really easy to batch cook. And you can have them for your family that night and put all the rest in little boxes in the freezer ready to get heated nice and easily. When the baby comes along and you just don't have the time to cook, but you want to make sure you're still giving your family a good, healthy meal. I also prepared in advance when I was doing my grocery order this month and really thinking about things that my husband could easily make. He's not keen on cooking at all. He won't be keen on cooking from scratch. Therefore, I've made sure that I've got some things that can just go in the oven, particularly if I'm in hospital for 1 or 2 nights, so that he can feed our daughter without any too much trouble, without having to get takeaways all the time. There's things that are nice and easy for him to microwave or oven cook, ready to go for until I'm in a position where I can get back to my normal cooking routine. Finally, as much as preparing the baby's room, the stuff you need, your own head zone is really, really important. It's also really important to prepare the rest of the family, because it's not only you that's going to be impacted by having this newborn in the house, it's everyone in the house. And therefore I've been doing a lot of preparation work, particularly with my daughter, making sure that she understands what the baby's going to be doing when they come out, that they're not going to be playing, that they're going to be very small, that they're going to basically be eating and sleeping and crying and getting their nappy changed. We've talked about all of the reasons why babies cry, that they're not sad, that babies communicate with you by crying, and she has the 4-step process down on what to look for when a baby cries. Is the baby hungry? Does the baby need a nappy change? Does the baby just need a cuddle? Or does the baby have like a tummy issue or something like that? She knows those off by heart, and I think just preparing your children for that kind of thing, maybe getting them to role play with a baby doll or something like that, just talking about it. And also if you have a name in mind, I think it's really good to let them in on that name and talk about the baby with their name, to really kind of get it into their head that this baby is coming, this baby is a person, and I think it just makes it real for your child. So we've definitely been preparing Elena that way. If this is your first time with a baby, then I think it's also really important that you prepare your partner, because they're just going to be as shell-shocked as you when you bring a baby home and what to do. I think if you're watching YouTube videos on how to change nappies and things, then it's really important that you include your partner in that. Obviously this is our second time around and Daddy is really, really good with her, and Daddy is really, really good with Elena, so he will have no problems, I know that. But if it's your first time around, it's really, really important to include the man or the partner in your life, because they're going to be just as much impacted as you are. Finally, we have a dog, and last time around I stayed in the hospital for 2 nights, and what we did was we put Elena's little baby grows and things in the dog's bed. So my mum had the dog for a couple of nights. She came to visit me in the hospital. She took home Elena's clothes that she'd been wearing and put them in the dog's bed, gave the dog a good chance to smell them, to kind of get Elena's scent before we brought her home, and I think that really, really prepared her. She was really excited when the baby came home, but she wasn't crazy over the top. She definitely recognised the scent, and we also talked about the baby a lot in front of our dog, and that might sound crazy, but I think dogs like have a bit of a second sense. Like my dog at the moment is sleeping right next to me. I'm sleeping on my left side in bed and she's sleeping right beside my bump, and she knows that something's going on. She doesn't usually do that. She did that last time around as well. She also became super protective of me last time around, and she's the same this time. Dogs have an instinct, and I think it's really important to include them in preparing your family. So I would recommend talking about the baby. If you have a name chosen, talk about the name in front of your dog so that when the baby comes along and you say, this is so and so, your dog thinks, oh okay, I've heard that name before. I now have a link and now know who that person is. And dogs are more clever than you think, so definitely include them in your preparation. So that is the main things I've been doing to prepare for this baby. If there's anything you think I've forgotten or any recommendations you have for others, please leave those in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to know when we post new videos, which we do every week. If you're pregnant yourself, I wish you all the very best, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!